So today we're going to talk about legal authorities. This section focuses on the broader legal context of private security, including the rights and limitations when performing duties as a security guard. This includes understanding where a security guard derives his or her authority to carry out job functions. So, we've talked briefly about Handling Information and Personal Information Protection and Electronic Documents Act, which I'm going to refer to as PIPEDA. This act is basically designed to protect personal information. If while performing duties as a security guard, you are handling personal information, you should not use or disclose it. There may be other privacy legislations that relate to the handling of information by security guards, such as the Freedom of Information and Protection Privacy Act, which is FIPPA, and the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection Privacy Act, which is the MFIPPA. Okay. These are all basically acts that protect private privacy. So let's move on to Trespass to Property Act. This Ontario law allows occupiers of private premises to determine who is or isn't allowed on these premises. An occupier may also designate individuals who are authorized to act on the occupier's behalf when it comes to allowing individuals on their premises. By nature, security guards often fill this role, as it is usually their responsibility to control access to a specific location. According to subsection 2.1 of the Act, a person may be found guilty of a trespass of an offense if they enter a location where entry is prohibited, they engage in activity that is forbidden on the premises, such as, let's say, smoking, or they refuse to leave when asked to do so by the occupier or an authorized person, that is a security guard. If entry is prohibited or restricted, notice must be given to the individual either verbally, in writing, or with the aid of signs and markings. Persons in violation of Section 2 of the Act may be arrested without a warrant. A security guard who arrests a person under the authority of a Trespass to Property Act may contact the police as soon as possible and deliver the individual to the police officer. So, security guards may also want to familiarize themselves with the Employment Standard Act, Labor Relations Act, Liquor License Act, Provincial Offenses, and Residential Tenancies. Okay, I will attach all of these at the end. They are in your references. There are links, so you can go on those pages and look at those links and look at them. Okay, so the Criminal Code of Canada. Security guards may encounter situations in which they need to deal with indictable or summary offenses. They need to be able to accurately identify and categorize offenses when on duty and understand when they are able to conduct a citizen's arrest according to the Criminal Code of Canada. Powers of arrest. Security guards have neither police nor peace officer powers. So they have the same powers as any member of the public under the Criminal Code. Specifically, Section 494 of the Criminal Code describes when it is appropriate for a member of the public to make an arrest. If a security guard is guarding property and is authorized by the owner of the property or the person in lawful possession of the property, they may make an arrest for any criminal offense that is committed on or in relation to the property as long as the security guard witnessed the offense being committed. If the offense is an indictable offense, they may make the arrest. Even if the offense is not committed on or in relation to the property they are guarding, so long as the security guard has witnessed the offense. So note that witnessing the offense is very important here. Security guards should therefore understand the distinction between an indictable and a summary offense. Typically, indictable offenses are more serious. A lot of the offenses that security guards normally encounter are indictable offenses, such as theft. Once the arrest has been performed, the security guard must deliver the individual to a peace officer as soon as possible. Effective communications. Security guards encounter a wide range of situations that are required to act professionally under all circumstances. Effective communication is an essential skill for security guards in order to adapt to different scenarios and diffuse situations. There are many different mediums for communication, including writing reports, in person, phone, email, to throughway radios, by voice recording. Security guards must be able to communicate with a wide array of individuals, both orally and in writing, to obtain information. Information provided by a security guard presented orally or in writing should always be clear and concise and use appropriate language. Information should be conveyed accurately and without personal bias or opinions. Communications also use nonverbal cues such as body language. A security guard's posture, gestures, facial expressions, and eye contact can all convey information. Security guards should check with their employers about the communication protocols for specific situations such as fire alarms. So, what's a summary? The summary is simple. Some general rules are applicable to all communication levels. Be brief, be explicit, be concise, make sure you understood, and do not be antagonistic. Tactical communication. It is important to adjust the communication style to accommodate a situation or an audience. Security guards should be able to adjust their behavior and demeanor accordingly. For example, assisting an injured individual will not require the same communication tactics as controlling a rowdy crowd. Effective communication also ensures that security guards can be effective and assertive without being confrontational. Interpersonal skills. Security guards must frequently interact with others, whether it is their employers, peers, clients, or the public. Being courteous and professional are always essential and help to establish rapport and build trusting relationships. Strong interpersonal skills also allow security guards to relate well to others and prevent or diffuse difficult situations. Okay? So what's the summary of the sections we've discussed so far? Summary is simple. We make sure that we are concise, that we are explicit, that we are respectful, we are not antagonistic, that we are using all forms of communication to get our message across in an appropriate manner. Okay. Sensitivity training, what is that? Security guards interact with the public on a daily basis. It is important that individuals are approached with respect. So they should have an understanding of the different types of prejudices that exist as a result of differences between people, including but not limited to ethnic background, education, religion, gender, sexual orientation, and physical or mental illness or disabilities. Security guards should learn to identify their own biases in order to prevent them from affecting the way that they interact professionally with members of the public. They should also understand the way in which miscommunication and misinterpretation can take place between two people who come from different backgrounds, and should therefore be sensitive to differences when dealing with a person or a public. Legally, security guards must comply with the Code of Conduct regulation under the PSISA as well as the Ontario Human Rights Code, and are therefore obliged to treat all persons equally and without discrimination. The OHRC is the Ontario Human Rights Code, which is a provincial code that gives everybody equal rights and opportunities without discrimination. Okay. The reason that I have combined these three sections together is because they're very important and they go hand in hand. Okay. So starting with the legal, who is allowed to make an arrest? In what situations is a security guard allowed to make an arrest? In what situations are you allowed to make an arrest for your property and arrests in general? Do you have the same power as police officers? If not, then whose power do you resemble to? If you're able to answer these questions, you have paid attention. Okay? What are levels of communication? How should you communicate with people? What biases should you be aware of? What is sensitivity? Right? So these are all questions that if you are able to answer, I believe you will do well in this session. So your homework is section 11 and 12. They're both one pages. It's from page 34 onwards. It's just a quick read, If you have any questions about it, please feel free to email me. I also want you to, this is actually a more important part, I want you to go through all the references on page 29, 31, 32, and 33. The Saskatchewan Act, you can avoid that. But other than that, please go through all of those. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. This is the last class. We have concluded our classes. If you have any questions, email me. Make sure you go through the test banks. Make sure you go through the resources and references that we have attached. The way that the class is designed is that you are supposed to have some time in class and some time on your own to benefit your learning and help the growth of your learning. Okay. If you haven't, a reminder, if you haven't done the emergency first aid or SFA or EFA CPR training, you should really do that. Spots fill up very quickly, and it is necessary for security guards to have this training. Okay. Thank you very much for coming. Have a great day.